Okay, welcome back. This is part 3 of an introduction to alternate bass finger picking. We're going to carry on with our C chord, but today we're going to add a new dimension. We're actually going to play a melody for the first time. The melody we're going to be playing is Freight Train by Elizabeth Cotten. There's the first half of the melody there, and I'm playing that absolutely straight. I'm adding no nuance in at all there. We're just going to focus entirely on the melody. So the reason why Freight Train is so well loved amongst beginner finger pickers is because all of those melody notes are on beat and fall mainly with the low bass. So we've got a C chord, which you should be familiar with so far, and our first melody note is going to be with the pinky on the 3rd fret of the top E. And with the C chord held, we're just going to play the melody all on its own now. So it's 3rd fret of the top E, then open top E, then 3rd fret of the B, and then 1st fret of the B, which of course we've already got held because we've got a C chord down. So far we've got this. So hopefully that's fairly straightforward. And what we're going to be doing is each of those melody notes is going to fall with a pinch in the bass, with the low bass specifically right here. So I'm going to play the low bass with my thumb on the A string, because of course we've got a C chord held, so low bass is on the A, and I'm going to pinch that melody note up on 3rd fret of the top E. Now I'm going to play my high bass, and then which happens to be a G at the moment. So we've got our pinch, then our open G, then a pinch with the open E. So I've lifted my pinky off the top E, and then the pinky comes down to the 3rd fret of the B string, and we pinch again, A string, low bass, and the B string, then a high bass, and then I remove the pinky again, and we pinch A string to B string one more time, and then high bass. So let me just run through that one more time. So it might take a little bit of practice to get used to that, especially if you haven't played melodies with the pinky before. It's not our strongest finger by any means. So you might want to just run through that a few times, maybe come back the next day, run through it a few more times until it starts feeling a little bit more familiar, a little bit more comfortable. Once we've run through that melody, change to a G chord. Now we've come across this G chord before, hopefully, if you've seen the other episodes. So it's just a 1-fingered G. I'm using my 3rd finger there on the 3rd fret of the bottom E. And we're pinching that low bass on the bottom E with our B string. And then coming up to the high bass, which is still on the G. And then we're going to grab the 3rd fret of the top E with the pinky and pinch with the low bass, and then we come down to the 1st fret of the top E and pinch with the high bass. So let's just run through that move on the G there. So starting with a pinch with the open B string, there's the first pinch we have with the high bass with that 1st fret on the top E. So let's just run through that a couple of times. And then we can put it together with the first half. Here we go. 3, 4. I just carry on with the bass for another bar, and then we're going to play our next melody. Should we do that one more time? 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're coming into our next melody. It's all on the G. So again, our low bass is down on the E string and our high bass is still on the G. And we're pinching 3rd fret of the top E to start with the low bass. And then we're going to come down to 1st fret on the top E and pinch with the low bass. And then take that 1st finger away, open E with the 3rd fret of the E string as the low bass. And then coming down to the 3rd fret of the B string with the pinky and pinch with the low bass one more time. There. So that little melody runs like this. All those pitches timing with the low bass there. And then we're going to switch back to a C. So we've got our C chord in the left hand and we're pinching A string and B string. High bass, and then 3rd fret of the top E with the low bass, and then high bass with the open top E. So I'm just removing out my 3rd finger there. So that little move on the C. And then I think we should be able to put all of that together, and we've pretty much got the first half of Freight Train. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's the first half, and we're going to leave it there for this lesson. As I've probably explained previously, this is supposed to be a very gentle introduction to the art of alternate bass fingerpicking. So we're not going to overload you straight away with attempting to do the whole of Freight Train. So get plenty of practice in on that, plenty of repetition. You might want to come back day on day and rewind certain parts of the video. Don't be in any rush to play at the same speed that I play it. Take your time and you'll be fine. Now, of course, Freight Train can be played with a huge amount of nuance that I'm currently not playing or not putting into the piece. There's some great versions out there. Check out the Elizabeth Cotton version. Let me just give you an example of what you can do if you start moving those beats around. So what I was doing there was I was using the same melody notes in the main, but I was shifting the rhythms from being in time with the pinch of the low bass. I can move that melody note somewhere else, just to give it a little bit more life, a little bit more swing. So in the next lesson we're going to be looking at using melody notes on off beats. So between the low bass and the high bass, or between the high bass and the low bass. So melodies on the alternates is really going to open up a world of syncopation for melodies, which is going to be really cool. So that's for the next one. Anyway, happy practicing.